So I want to talk about something that trips up a lot of truck owners. This idea that spending more on tires automatically means more safety. Sounds logical, right? Pay more, get more. But when you actually look at the 2026 testing data, that's not always true. One of the cheaper tires on this list flat out beats a tire that costs $100 more per tire in the category that. So let's walk through all 5 together, and instead of just telling you what to buy, I'll show you the actual numbers behind each one and let you make the call for your own truck. Let's start at number 5, the Cooper Discoverer AT3 XLT. If you actually use your truck, hauling stuff, towing a trailer on weekends, carrying real weight in the bed, this one's worth knowing about. It comes with an E-load rating and reinforced ply construction, meaning it was built with actual work trucks in mind, not lifted SUVs that just look like trucks but never see a real payload. Several off-road publications keep putting this tire at the top of their list for towing and fleet use, mainly because the sidewall holds its shape so well under a real load, even with a trailer hooked up. Here's what the testing shows. It scored a 4 out of 5 for dry braking and hydroplaning resistance, which is above average for this price range, and honestly a little better than I expected. There was also a long-term test where they ran a single set past 40,000 miles, and the tread wore down evenly the whole time, lining up with Cooper's 60,000-mile warranty. But here's what a lot of tire shops leave out of the conversation. That same testing gave it just a 2 out of 5 for braking in deep snow, which is a pretty big drop-off. So here's the honest verdict. If winter driving is a big part of your life, this probably isn't the one. But if you're mostly dealing with gravel roads and hauling weight, and you want something durable at a fair price, it earns its spot. One thing worth knowing, once the tread wears past 30,000 miles, people report the highway noise getting noticeably louder, and the stiff carcass can make the ride feel harsh when the bed's empty. If you're already running these, let me know if that's been your experience too. Moving on to number 4, the Toyo Open Country AT3. Here's something most truck owners don't think about. Your tread pattern is quietly affecting how much you spend on gas every single week, and most people never make that connection until they actually see the numbers side by side. Toyo engineered this tire specifically to deal with that, using a low hysteresis compound and a stiffer base layer under the tread to cut rolling resistance. In simpler terms, it keeps the tread blocks from flexing and squirming when you accelerate, which keeps the tire cooler and lets it roll more efficiently. And the numbers back it up. In this year's rolling resistance testing, the AT3 picked up almost 2 extra miles per gallon on the highway compared to heavier all-terrain tires. That might not sound like much, but stretch it over a 60,000-mile warranty, and you're looking at roughly $480 back in your pocket, just from fuel. It also carries the 3-peak mountain snowflake rating for severe snow, so if you're mostly on pavement but want real capability on weekend trips, this is your sweet spot. Just know fuel savings will vary by truck, so check the spec sheet for your setup. Now, number 3, the BF Goodrich KO3. BF Goodrich basically rebuilt this tire from the ground up, because the previous version, the KO2, had a real issue with wet weather braking. According to recent track testing, the new compound in the KO3 sets a high bar for off-road climbing, stopping a full 10 feet shorter than the Falken AT4W in heavy snow. Genuinely impressive. But here's the part that tends to get glossed over. This tire runs about $409 each, on the pricier side. And even with the redesign, wet asphalt braking tests show that from 60 miles an hour, it still needs about 13 extra feet to stop, compared to cheaper options on this list. That's roughly the length of a compact car, the difference between stopping safely and not, in the rain, at highway speed. It's a genuinely good tire off-road, but you should know what you're paying for and what you're giving up. Which brings us to number 2. The Falken Wildpeak AT4W, and this is where it gets interesting. We all know legacy brands like BF Goodrich carry weight just because of reputation, but right now they're charging $409 a tire. Falken's pricing this one at around $295. Across a full set of 5, that's about $570 staying in your pocket before you even leave the shop, which is real money for most of us. But a lower price only matters if the tire performs, and this one does. Falken built the tread with full-depth 3D sipes and a high silica compound that stays flexible in cold, slick conditions. Braking from 60 on wet asphalt, it stops a full 13 feet shorter than the KO3, nearly a truck's wheelbase of extra stopping distance, for a lot less money. It also comes with a 65,000-mile warranty, 5,000 more than the pricier option, plus it handles 200 more pounds of max load per tire. And finally, number 1. the Continental Terrain Contact AT. I want to be honest here, because I think we all fall into this trap. We love the look of a deep, aggressive mud tire. Looks tough in the driveway, and there's nothing wrong with wanting your truck to look the part. But if we're being real, most of our actual driving happens on regular highway pavement, wet or dry, not out in the mud, and those deep lugs just don't grip wet pavement the way a highway-oriented tread does. Continental clearly understood that, because instead of chasing the aggressive look, they built this tire with traction groove technology and a silane-based compound made specifically for high-speed wet grip. The results speak for themselves. In hydroplaning and wet stability testing, it scored a perfect 5 out of 5, the only all-terrain tire on this list to hit that score. While more aggressive tires are sliding around and leaning on the traction control in the rain, this one just stays planted. In emergency wet braking, it stops a massive 21 feet shorter than typical off-road style tires. More than a full crew cab truck's length of extra stopping distance between you and a potential accident. My goal here wasn't to push a brand or sell you on some flashy marketing pitch. I just wanted to walk you through what the testing actually shows, so you can make an informed call instead of spending your whole weekend scrolling through 20 different review videos. So that's 5 tires, all backed by real 2026 testing data. But real-world experience still matters a lot too, probably more than any single lab test. If you're running any of these, drop a comment with your mileage and how it's held up. And if you're still deciding, check the comments for someone driving your exact truck. We're actually collecting this feedback to help shape future testing. So if this video just saved you from an expensive mistake, let us know down there, and I'll see you in the next one.